I'm sure each of you has experienced this. You're watching a movie or anime, and suddenly you notice something so absurd that you don't know whether to laugh or cry. Sometimes these are minor details the author simply missed, and sometimes they are huge plot holes that shatter the logic of what's happening. Today, I've collected an entire compilation of 23 such mistakes for you. These will include both small glitches and major blunders that were simply impossible to miss. I especially recommend watching till the end because that's where the most egregious and absurd errors will be, capable of throwing even the most patient viewer off balance. So, let's go. Mistake number 1. Let's start with the simplest, but no less ridiculous. The plane is half collapsed and we clearly see the door is gone. Everything is logical. Crash, panic, destruction, but in the very next shot, the door suddenly reappears. Moreover, the girls calmly jump out through it as if it was always meant to be there. Mistake number 2. Ramen on the plane. And here, the chopsticks start behaving like real ghosts. They appear, then disappear. First they're in their hands, then they're gone, then they're back again. Even if you don't notice it on the first watch, on a rewatch, you feel like you're playing Spot the 10 Differences. Mistake number 3. Demons tear off the right wing of the plane, a tense scene, a dramatic moment, all as it should be. But suddenly, a few seconds pass, and in a close-up, we see the plane whole again. The wing is in place. Mistake 4. Bobby's phone call on the plane. The screen shows that 3 seconds have passed, even though Rumi hasn't even picked up the phone yet. How does that work? Did the phone decide to answer itself? Mistake 5. Water on the plane is a whole other topic. The creators decided to show that everything in Korean planes is so high-tech that boiling water immediately flows from the tap. But the problem is that in reality, this is impossible. Not only is boiling water from a tap on a plane unsafe, but in the scene, we don't even see steam when it's poured. This means they actually just poured cold water over the ramen. And that's no longer a mistake, but an insult to the noodles. Mistake 6. 5 demons attack the girls. During the battle, I counted 6 killed, and in the chaos, it seems someone else was chopped up. Nevertheless, the same 5 fall back to the ground. Zui finishes 1 off in the air, 3 more on the ground. The last one is killed again, although it seems Zui already did that in the air. Aren't there too many demons, even though there were only 5? And here's the funniest part. This is just one scene on the plane, and it accumulated so many blunders that it would be enough for a whole separate video. If you think about it, for creators, the initial scenes are the most dangerous part. The viewer is tense, attention is focused on every detail, and it's at this moment that any mistake jumps out. But how could they have made so many, and in just 5 minutes? I don't know. Let's move on. Mistake 7. During Huntrix's first encounter with the Saja boys, there's a moment that was supposed to be comical and perhaps a little romantic. From Zoe and Mira's intense gaze, Abby's shirt buttons fly off, and we see his abs. But a moment later, his shirt is perfectly fine again, buttoned and whole. Of course, one could assume it was something like the girl's fantasy. Mistake number 8. The viewer's attention should be on the characters, but the background also plays a huge role. In the first Soda Pop song, a billboard proudly stands behind the group. But a moment later, it's a screen where Jinu is drinking Dr. Han's tonic. And again, literally in the next shot, it's the same billboard. The editing is so choppy that I'm tired of blaming it on it being an animated film. Mistake 9. While performing Soda Pop, the Saja boys perform on a bank. Here, Bobby and Abby switch places. At first glance, you might think, well, choreography. But if it's a dance, why did everyone else stay in their places? Although at the beginning of the song, they move very dynamically. Mistake 10. Now for a little humor. In the fan comment scene, we see an avatar where Rumi is eating kimbap. And the main question is, how? Who could have even done that? Either she did it herself, or her fans genuinely have superpowers, or the animators simply decided to grab a random image from the archives. Mistake 11. This is where the script really breaks. Mira states,
"The Idol Awards are tomorrow."
Everything's logical, preparations are underway. But then we see the girls fighting demons on a train in the exact same outfits. Then Rumi meets Jinu at night, and they give a concert for the whole city. And in the morning, the phrase,
"But I know we can win tomorrow."
And this is tomorrow, which never comes again. This is no longer just a mistake, but a whole plot hole. Mistake 12. During Jinu and Rumi's date, they sing a song.
We can't fix it if we never face it. Let the past be the past till it's weightless.
But attention, the animators forgot to open the characters' mouths. It looks like the song is playing in their heads. Mistake 13. After a successful performance, the girls ride in an elevator. Staff put robes over their clothes. Then they walk down the corridor chatting with Bobby. But at the end of the corridor, presto! The clothes under the robes are gone. Even their jewelry disappeared. How did they manage to do that on the fly? The question remains open. Mistake 14. Bobby walks around the room in a robe, and we see a t-shirt with the Huntrix logo on it. But the moment he takes off the robe, the logo disappears. Apparently, the aversion even made the design fly off. Mistake 15. In childhood memories, we see a girl with patterns on her shoulders. But in another photo, these patterns are gone. One might assume she uses makeup to hide these marks. But then why did she stop using it when she grew up? Couldn't find the right shade or too expensive? Mistake 16. Jinu's chain. That's a whole separate character. In some scenes it's gone, in others it appears and then it disappears again. It feels like it has its own script. Mistake 17. In a fight, Jinu rips Rumi's shirt sleeve. The scene is tense and aggressive, but in the next shot, the shirt is whole again, then torn again. This is a minor detail, of course, but it gives the impression that the film was slapped together in a hurry, although perhaps the runtime was being squeezed. Mistake 18. The demons in the guise of Zoe and Mira begin to perform the song Takedown. And here's the main question. How did they even know the lyrics and dance if Huntrix had never sung it before? The plot seems to say, well, they just knew. Okay. Mistake 19. At the beginning of the final song, when Rumi goes on stage, she has either 3 earrings or 1 in her ears. And this is no joke. At one moment, there are more ornaments than there should be, and at another, fewer. A trifle, after all, but a blunder. Mistake 20. After defeating Guima, we see a guy in a t-shirt with his name on it. But Guima just appeared. How did this guy know the name beforehand and even got merch? It turns out someone already printed merch before the villain appeared on stage. Mistake number 21. Rumi's shirt is unzipped and we see patterns, but the zipper pull suddenly disappears. A second later, it reappears. Another disappearing object in this film. Mistake 22. And finally, rehearsal. The girls sing on stage. There's no sound engineer, no equipment nearby. But as soon as Rumi stops singing, the music abruptly cuts off. The question is,
What's going on? Why are we stopping?
who turned off the sound? An invisible DJ? Or does Rumi herself know how to control technology with the power of thought? Mistake 23. The final song should be the culmination, and the viewer is usually completely immersed in the atmosphere at this point. But then we're given another blunder. Myra and Isa initially have black jackets, all logical. But a couple shots later, they're in white costumes. No costume changes, no hints, just black disappeared, white appeared. This is not a stylish technique, but a banal sequence error. These are the mistakes I managed to find. Agree. Sometimes it was even funny to notice such small things. Someone will say, oh, well, the door disappeared, only the costume changed without explanation. It's just a cartoon. But the truth is, it's precisely from such details that the overall impression is formed. Sometimes these blunders spoil the atmosphere or destroy the logic of what's happening. But sometimes, on the contrary, they give the film a special charm. Viewers start arguing, discussing, looking for new inconsistencies. In some extent, such sins even make the project cult. There's a version that some mistakes in cinema and animation are left to pique interest and make the viewer rewatch the scene again and again. What do you think? Was it an accident or an intentional technique? Write your opinion in the comments. And if you have your own discoveries or funny blunders, be sure to share. I will collect the most interesting ones in a separate video for release. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the continuation. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.